On Thursday, the Washington Times published the following letter to the editor from me. Americans are now suffering from something far worse than COVID-19. Corona-chosis, a mental disorder of epic proportions, is a clear and present danger to our economy and our way of life. This new collective insanity is wrecking businesses and putting millions of Americans out of work. Corona-chosis is a far greater threat to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness than any virus or disease could ever be. It must be stopped before it drives all of us stark, raving mad. I don't mean to make light of this virus because it's a very serious issue for many people. However, for most of the people who get it, it's not going to be a big deal. Many people who catch the virus will have mild symptoms or no symptoms at all. Some will get sick enough to require hospitalization. Unfortunately, somewhere around 2% of the people who get the virus may die. More often than not, coverage of the virus focuses on worst-case scenarios, and that picture can be very bleak. I live in Florida, and when I watch the news, it seems to me like having a Category 5 hurricane 100 miles offshore every day. Some of the forecasts project that 70% of Americans will get the virus and millions will die as a result. That would be tragic, but even in that worst-case scenario, most people will survive and life will go on for them. When I was in high school, I went to Marseille, France on an exchange program. One of the adventures I went on was hiking in a place called the Calanques, which are cliffs by the Mediterranean Sea. At one point the trail was washed out, and hikers had to make about a 4-foot jump from one side to the other. Although I was in very good shape, I could see that if I missed that little jump, I would fall over 50 feet, land on rocks, and would either be killed or seriously injured. I allowed everyone in my group to proceed ahead of me. I started making a movie in my head where I ended up dead on the rocks below. The longer I stood there, the more vivid that movie became. Finally, at the urging of my friends, I made the little jump. Whee! There's a huge difference between reasonable fears about things that are likely to happen and irrational fears about things that are not likely to happen. There would have been a severe downside to missing that jump, but there was very little chance that I would miss that jump. To reiterate my opening point, the vast majority of people who get coronavirus are going to survive and go on with their lives. Meanwhile, as we move forward, don't let the crazy corona-chosis get you. I'm Danny Murphy, and my website is at successstory.biz. That's successstory.biz.